Thank you, Mary. Thank you for everybody for being here. Mary says that part about me always being on the record with such gusto. She's very happy about it. We had a pretty long meeting today, so I will forego my opening remarks and get straight into your questions, and we'll start here in the room.
Thank you. Maya Weber with S&P Global Commodity Insights. Thanks for taking our questions. I wondered if you could comment on your plans in 2025 with the Republican presidential administration coming in, whether you expect to stay on at FERC past January or serve out your term, or just what your thinking is at this point.
Maya, I'm sure your readers are not focused on what I'm doing right now or next, but to respond to your question, first of all, let me say, being at FERC, being in public service is the honor of my life. All I've ever wanted to do was serve. And FERC and President Biden and the Biden-Harris administration has given me that opportunity. And it is the thing I'm most proud of in my professional life. Here, right now, we're focused on running through the tape at this commission. We're focused on doing the work with orders like Order Number 1920A that we just voted out today. And we have more work to do. So that's my focus going forward. Thank you. Catherine.
Thanks, Chairman. Catherine Morehouse with Politico. Even regardless of what you do in January, I think we can probably assume you won't be chair in the new year with the new administration. So I'm wondering if are any, what are your specific priorities in the next, month and a half that you have while you're still at the head of the agency?
Thank you for the question, Catherine. My priorities, they have not changed. They remain the same. In particular, we have been on a transmission reform journey throughout my entire chairmanship, and we will continue to focus on that. We just got the report from NERC on interregional just this week. We're looking forward to diving into that report. And this is something that I've been talking about since before I came to FERC. It is critically important to the reliability and affordability of regular, everyday Americans. And so we look forward to working with my colleagues to see what the next steps are with that journey. Thank you. Yes.
James Downing, R2 Insider. You want to talk about what changed in your thought process to kind of give states more input on the cost allocation issues in this? If the first, what the changes in the order today, what changed in your thought process from 1920 to 1928 in regards to giving the states more of a say on cost allocation?
Thank you, James. Let me be clear. Let me tell you what these changes mean here today. The already historic Order Number 1920 is now the unanimous Order 1928. This already strong final rule that we issued in May is only stronger. The core principles that we had in that rule, and I mentioned this at the table today, everything from long-term planning, 20-year time horizon, grid-enhancing technologies, right-sizing investments, as well as real benefits, economic and reliability, but it's all in there. It's all there. And we do take a step forward in making sure that states will be heard, but that's also a step we took in Order Number 1920. I'm very proud of where we have landed, but let me be clear about this. I want to give all the credit in the world to my colleagues for the compromise that they framed, that they crafted, and I'm glad to support here today.
Hi, George Whitecamp, Commodity Insights. Thank you again for taking our questions. I wanted to ask, the incoming Republican administration has proposed to rethink the structure of federal agencies and create a Department of Government Efficiency that would seek to undo government regulations using recent Supreme Court rulings. I was just curious what your thoughts were on what implications this has for FERC as an independent agency and how you see yourself moving forward in this administration.
First of all, let me say, for almost 50 years, FERC has been an independent, bipartisan agency. And for almost 50 years, we've had the most professional, I call them a world-class staff here at FERC. And if you're interested, and let me just step back. We've done this through both Republican and Democratic administrations. This is not new. And if any administration is interested in moving forward energy independence for Americans, if you're interested in projects, whether that be natural gas projects or clean and renewable energy projects, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission is an agency that you would want to strengthen. That is my message. That is what I'm focused on, making sure that we do what is most important to Americans, which is help keep the lights on. Thank you. Tom.
Thank you, Tom Tiernan with the Energy Daily. One of the priorities you've addressed or something you want to address, you've said in the past, is court decisions involving gas projects that have been vacated and remanded, including some NEPA provisions. I was just wondering, given the timing and the incoming administration, if that moves up in priority, if you have if you want to address that sooner before the end of the year.
I want to make sure I got your question right. Repeat the heart of the question.
You've said addressing the court remands. That's something that FERC has to tackle. Mm-hmm. My question is, does the election and incoming administration move that up in your priority list?
So thank you, Tom. I have been focused on streamlining our efforts to respond to project requests, remands from the court back to the commission, and doing the work of the commission as efficiently as possible. That has not changed. We continue to monitor the changing legal landscape that we've seen, especially when it comes to review of natural gas orders. The commission monitors those efforts. We incorporate them into our decision-making process and into our decisions going forward. And I can tell you this, we have, I believe, legally durable orders that we stand by. And I look forward. Yes, they have been challenged, and I do believe they will be upheld. Thank you.
Okay, any questions from reporters online? Raise your hand. Virtually. I don't see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's go with Keith Goldberg of Law 360.
Hi, Chairman. Thanks for taking the holding this press conference as always. You have made focusing on environmental justice issues one of your priorities as chairman. The incoming administration has indicated that it will look to de-emphasize efforts by federal agencies to address environmental justice issues. And I'm curious how concerned you are that FERC, going forward with a new chairman, will de-emphasize or backtrack on some of the environmental justice work that has been done through your tenure as chairman.
Thank you, Keith. When it comes to environmental justice, and yes, it is one of my top priorities as chairman, but I want to take a step back and be clear on why environmental justice is a top priority. For me, it's easy to start with the personal. I grew up in an environmental justice community. The people I grew up with around me lived in the shadows of heavy industry. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. There's not a world that doesn't exist where I won't make environmental justice a priority for me, whether I be chairman, commissioner, or just man on the street. Now, the reason why it's important for FERC is because the courts have been clear that in 2024, in the richest, greatest nation the world has ever seen, that we can and we must build out the energy infrastructure that we so desperately need for this country and respect environmental justice communities. We can do that at the same time. And I believe that if you do it now, you do it right the first time, it will forego long-term delays and litigation on the back end for projects. So if you want projects approved, this commission and any commission that shall come needs to focus on environmental justice. Thank you.
Okay, one or two more questions?
I'm getting started up here, Mary.
I guess there's a first for everything. All right. Next is Corey Paul.
Hello. Following up on Tom's question, I wanted to ask how you're thinking about the Marin Oton case from the DC Circuit decided last week, and if you see FERC needing to take any action as a result of that to consider its rules are valid.
The case I think you're referencing is the one that involves NEPA. We are aware of the case. I'm working with our general counsel to figure out what, if anything, we need to do to incorporate that particular case into our decision-making process. I will make the general counsel available to answer any specific questions about that. He's just smiling. He's smiling.
You're spreading the love today.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then AJ Camacho.
Hi, thanks, Mary, and thank you, Chairman Phillips. I wanted the privilege to be able to meet you in person, but I suppose it's going to have to wait another month. I had a question that is a bit politics adjacent. One of the campaign promises that President-elect Trump made was to rein in the independent regulatory agencies. He said that he proposed subjecting their regulations to White House review. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on whether subjecting FERC regulations specifically to White House review is something that is permissible, and if you would have any support for such a request.
I thank you for the question. I'm glad that you're here. I don't have any comments on those particular commitments that were made by the incoming administration. We look forward to working with stakeholders and implementing the authorizing statutes that govern FERC. Whether or not there are changes that happen to that, they will run its course, but we will continue to focus on the work here at FERC. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, I think that's it. We've
Right.
run out of questions.
Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Happy
Chairman.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, I'm assuming you guys have questions and reporters online have questions about Order 1920 from staff?